Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex info and try to break it down into fascinating insights. Today, we're getting into a really crucial report. It's all about social media and the adolescent brain. For a long time, everyone talked about screen time. But this big analysis, it points to something else. The format of the content and the algorithm.
Exactly. Those seem to be the key things driving, well, potential neurocognitive harm for young people, say 12 to 25.
Right. So our mission today is just to give you the core evidence-based stuff from this research. Okay, so let's unpack that. The report really hits hard on how social media kind of exploits the developing brain.
Yeah, and the why is fascinating. The adolescent brain, its reward system, the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, it's just hypersensitive during these years.
Hypersensitive.
Yeah, more sensitive than in adults or younger kids. So these platforms with the constant likes, comments, notifications, they act as supernormal stimuli.
Supernormal stimuli, like
Yeah.
more intense than real life.
Precisely. They trigger that reward circuit way more often and sometimes more intensely than, normal face-to-face interactions.
Uh-huh.
This sets up a really powerful dopamine loop. It works on what's called a variable ratio reinforcement schedule.
Like a slot machine. Unpredictable rewards keeping you hooked?
Exactly like a slot machine.
Yeah.
And then AI personalization kicks in. The report uses this pretty dramatic phrase.
Oh, I remember reading that.
Digital hypodermic needle.
Wow.
Basically tailoring the content to be maximally attention-grabbing and rewarding just for you. And fMRI scans, they actually show this happening.
Yeah.
Big activation in reward areas like the nucleus accumbens.
Okay, that digital hypodermic needle really paints a picture. It's not just passive scrolling. It's, hyper-personalized addiction.
Pretty much.
But it goes beyond just feeling hooked, right? The report says this is actually physically changing the brain.
Yes, that's a critical finding. Heavy problematic use, it's associated with less gray matter volume.
Less brain matter, where specifically in the prefrontal cortex, or PFC. That's your brain's CEO, basically. Crucial for impulse control, regulating emotions, making good decisions. And on a network level, you often see this imbalance. The default mode network, kind of the me-focused network that lights up with online stuff, gets overactive.
Right.
While the executive control network, the one you need for focus and control, seems to get weaker.
So cognitively, what does that look like?
Well, think about the really fast-paced stuff, especially short videos. It correlates with poorer sustained attention, difficulty holding things in your working memory.
Okay.
The report even suggests that the constant rapid switching between tiny video clips creates a sort of continuous attentional blink.
An attentional blink.
Yeah, like your attention is constantly being interrupted before it can fully process anything deeply. It's almost like training your brain for distraction.
That's really concerning. So if this is happening, does it mean all social media is equally bad? You mentioned formats. The report ranks them. It does. It provides a content format harm index. And this is super important for everyone, users, parents, policymakers.
So what's at the top? The worst.
Short form algorithmic video. Think TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. It scores highest, a 9.7 on the overall harm index.
9.7, why so high?
It's the combination. Potent dopamine disruption, serious cognitive effects, and really high addiction potential, all rolled into one. That makes it the biggest risk identified.
Okay, what comes next?
After that, you have ephemeral content like stories on Instagram or Snapchat. They really play on FOMO, the fear of missing out, driving that compulsive checking behavior.
Makes sense.
And then curated image and text feeds. They contribute more to social comparison, body image issues, emotional distress.
Right, and is anything lower risk?
Yeah, relatively speaking. Things like long-form video, maybe watching a documentary on YouTube, or interactive text forums where you're actually discussing things. These often require more sustained attention. They might even help build focus and active thinking rather than constantly breaking it.
I think we've all felt that pull of just one more short video, but seeing it quantified? Yeah, that's pretty stark. So after all this quite worrying news, is there any hope? What's the takeaway on our brains? You said they're adaptable.
Absolutely, and that's key. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, it's really a double-edged sword here.
How so?
Well, it's what makes the adolescent brain so vulnerable to getting hooked in the first place, but it's also the very mechanism that allows for recovery.
Okay, so the same flexibility that creates the problem can fix it.
Exactly. By understanding what's happening, maybe using evidence-based approaches like, say, cognitive behavioral therapy or mindfulness techniques, and crucially, by consciously choosing different activities, healthier ones. the brain can rewire itself away from those patterns.
How long does that take?
It really varies, depends on how severe the use was, what kinds of formats were involved. Could be weeks, could be many months, sometimes even longer.
That's actually a hopeful note to end on, that adaptability gives us a path forward. This whole deep dive really shows just how vital it is to understand the how and the what of our social media use, not just the how long. So here's something provocative for you to think about. Knowing these different impacts, these different risks of various content types, what's one small intentional shift you could make, either in your own digital habits or maybe for the young people in your life? A shift to use that neuroplasticity for well-being instead of letting it be hijacked.